Hello everybody, it's Dr. D again. Today we're going to talk about this little puppy. This is a Smith and Wesson 642 J Frame Revolver, lightweight self-defense type gun. Got it a while ago. There are a couple things you can do to make it more shootable. They're known for being a little bit problematic with regards to handling, as they're made primarily for self-defense, last resort type things at close range. They've got really short barrels. They're not particularly accurate at distance. But there are a couple things you can do to actually, within the limitations of the design, make them more shootable and easier to handle. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, first and foremost, here is the standard grip that comes with this thing. This is the Smith and Wesson standard grip, and here is a bigger, beefier Packemeyer grip that I bought. First thing I suggest is, unless you plan on using this thing for concealed carry, in which case a small grip is desirable, this thing makes shooting it a pain in the butt, even with like a low power to mid-range strength load, 200 to 250 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. This little thing's going to make your wrist hurt. Here is a Packemeyer grip, and it's not terribly expensive. I got it for 20 bucks online. Very good thing to put on this thing in order to make it more shootable. The one pain in the butt is you will have to tap out this little stainless steel dowel from the aluminum frame. These guns have an aluminum frame. And I'd say tap that thing out gently, because if you go pounding away on it, there have been people who've reported cracking their frames, even using plus P ammo. This thing is rated for plus P ammo, which you can see if you look closely here. It's rated for plus P ammo because the barrel and the cylinder are steel, but the frame is aluminum. So that means taking it easy with target shooting probably makes sense. I mean, I've shot all kinds of stuff. I'm using a whole bunch of ammo that I obtained online, which is plus P right now. But watching what you shoot with this thing probably can make it last longer for you. So nevertheless, consider changing the grips. I don't use this for concealed carry. This is more of a home defense gun. And handling it with my big mitts in a Packemeyer grip is a whole heck of a lot better than trying to handle it with those tiny little grips with which it comes. Issue number 2 is the sights. This thing does not come with interchangeable sights. The back sight is integrated into the frame. The front sight is on the barrel. And I guess you could take this thing to a gunsmith and have something done that will require a modification of it, but I've not seen much in the way of modified barrels available online. The simplest thing to do is what you see that I've done here. In the back sight, I've just taken a very fine Sharpie and penned that in black. And on the front sight, and I've seen this described several places online, I've just painted it with yellow fingernail polish. Bright yellow seems to be the best. I've seen some people use bright orange, but nevertheless, when you sight this thing, it's easier not to get lost in the glare, particularly in bright light of the back end, if you've got some black to contrast against the front sight, which in this case is now yellow. This is easy to do, obviously, and it's very cheap, and it does make the gun more shootable. This thing's not going to shoot as well as, say, a Glock with a 4-inch barrel, but then again, the barrel's less than 2 inches. I think it's 1.8 inches. So, again, this is a short-range gun, and you take it for that kind of accuracy. This is self-defense, in my opinion, self-defense at its finest. Ladies love these guns, although the lightweight makes it easy to carry. It also makes them jump more when you shoot them. So, that's another issue entirely. Okay, here are some yeses and nos with regards to practice ammo. The material here on the left, which is currently in frame, is PMC, Blazer, and Remington, as well as some Hornady hollow points. These all fire fine in the gun. In fact, it uses most ammo without much of a problem. I haven't tried steel, but the Blazers here are aluminum, and it doesn't have a problem with those. They eject fine. However, one thing it doesn't like, for reasons which I don't entirely understand, but it probably have to do with the primers, is this MagTech stuff. I have a feeling this stuff has hard primers, because if you look here, you'll see that these have marks from strikes on them, primer strikes. But each of these rounds, and this is only one box of a box of MagTech that I bought. I use MagTech all the time in my 9mm, which are Glocks, and well, one Smith and Wesson too. And I haven't had any problem with MagTech. But I'm convinced that these primers are harder than the primers in the other ammunition, because if you look here, there are 12 rounds that did not fire, and most of these, if not all, I sent for a second pass through to see if they would fire. So MagTech, by my calculations, has a 24% no fire rate, at least in my 642, so I don't buy any more MagTech for my 642. That's pretty simple. I haven't had problems firing anything else. It works well with Fiocchi. I've tried that. It works well with Freedom Munitions. I tried their ammo, worked fine. So ultimately, I'd say, for whatever reason, I'd avoid the MagTech. And again, I'm guessing that it's the primers. One last bit of housekeeping with this gun. Cleaning it, I've read, is problematic with regards to just the frame. Remember, this has an aluminum frame, and I'm told that people who have been heavy on abrasive cleaners for this aluminum frame have found that the varnish is worn off of it. So at least what I've been doing, and we'll see to what extent that's protective, is I've only really been aggressively cleaning the barrel, or not the barrel and the cylinder, because these are both stainless steel. So just a thought for those who proceed. This is a very nice gun. I actually like it. It's just nowhere near as accurate as my other guns, which are semi-automatics with longer barrels, so that goes without saying. But as far as being a self-defense gun, which is ready at any time and is loaded with regards to when you need it, you don't need to chamber a round, for example. You don't need to put a magazine in. And Lord forbid, say you use a round that doesn't fire, you simply pull the trigger and another round comes around. So with regards to self-defense, I still think I like revolvers better, although they are a different animal entirely than the semi-automatic. This gun is also light, and for those who've never used a light revolver, it's an adjustment to adjust to the way it kicks. But that's easily compensated for by simple practice. All right, everybody. Thanks again.